Hello everyone, I am Dinesh from ENH iSecure and thank you for joining this demo session. This session is about integrating Office 365 with Okta. Hope you have gone through the presentation of this integration where we have covered the prerequisites and integration flow about this. Now let's quickly move into the demo. I have logged into Okta admin portal with my credentials and my account holds super administrator privileges in this Okta tenant. Here on the dashboard, you can see multiple tiles and let me talk about the status tile for a bit. From this tile, you can see the status information about Okta services and the agent status. We can tap on these to know more about them. Okta service represents the overall system status of Okta, which is currently operational. The second one is agent status, which gives an overview of all the connected agents in this tenant. In our tenant, we can see the AD agent status. This represents the AD integration is online and the required settings were all taken care of. I will not be talking about Active Directory integration here as our primary focus area is about Office 365 integration. However, a point to highlight, AD integration must happen first and the desired groups and users should be imported into Okta. We can navigate through the directory and groups section to see the groups available in Okta. Here we can see the AD groups represented with Windows logo, which are imported from Active Directory. We will be using the groups for Office 365 app assignment. Now let's move towards the application tab to see the integrated apps in this tenant. Applications are categorized with status, active or inactive. At the top, we have an option Browse App Catalog, which will take us to the OIN. As you can see, there is already an active instance of Office 365 app. However, for this demonstration purpose, I will create one more instance from OIN. I can search it from the OIN. And here is the Office 365 app. If we scroll down towards the functionalities, we can see the supported authentication protocols, which are SWA and WSFET, and the available provisioning options. Now let's start the integration of Office 365 app. I'll rename the application label and followed by the tenant name. Tenant name is the default registered domain name which ends with .onmicrosoft.com. Here we have an example too. The default domain is acme.onmicrosoft.com and the tenant name is Acme. In a similar fashion, I have a domain registered for this demonstration and let me feed in that tenant name over here. Now if we scroll down, here we have the links for all the Office 365 apps. We can pick and choose the apps for the users. All these links will be available as an individual app on the user dashboard to launch. Just for this demonstration, I'll pick up the most frequently used apps. Now here on the seat section, we can add the number of licenses we have purchased so that we can get utilization report out of it. I'll ignore that for now and we'll uncheck this last option and hit on next. Now we are on the sign on options page. Here we have two authentication methods to choose: secure web authentication and WS-Fed. Let me go ahead with WS Federation method for this demonstration. I will leave this WS Federation configuration option to automatic, which will enable us to add multiple domains if required. Next, the Office 365 API access. Here I must authenticate to Office 365 with a global administrator account and provide my consent. For this authentication, I must choose the administrator account from my default registered domain, which ends with .onmicrosoft.com. This will create an enterprise app and will let me wait on the consent screen for the administrator approval. Upon allowing the app, I will be able to fetch and select the custom domains. I'll fetch and select the custom domain for this federation, and we can proceed further. We're good with the application username format and hit on done. Well, this marks the first mile, and next followed by provisioning and later assignment. For enabling provisioning, I'll move on to this provisioning tab. And under integration section, we'll enable this API integration. Now I must authenticate to enable this. I must use my administrator account, and an enterprise app is created for API integration. And upon approval on the pop-up, I must enter the administrator credentials. We can test it by hitting the test API credentials, and then finally we can save the settings. This will enable us with provisioning options, which will enable us with user lifecycle management tasks. Here are the options available to push to Office 365. I'll edit this and select the provisioning type to universal sync, and enable create users, update user attributes, and deactivate users, and hit on save. I will not enable sync password option. The reason for this is I don't want to create a new password for each assigned user and push that to Office 365. Rather than, I would like the users to use their AD credentials to access the Okta user dashboard and Office 365 apps. Now we are good in this section, and let me move towards two Okta options and see if there are any changes required. So far everything looks okay, and we are good with the provisioning part. Now the last milestone is assignment. For this, I have to pick up a user from Active Directory. In the beginning, we had a peek on the Active Directory importer groups. Let me go to the directory and see the user accounts. I see the user account Paul imported from Active Directory. We can select this user for app assignment. Before doing that, let me see what applications are assigned to Paul. As we can see, the user account is sourced by Active Directory and only one app is assigned currently. Let me confirm the same by logging into end user dashboard. By the way, I am using the ID credentials to log in. And we can see only one app here. We are good to go with the app assignment now. Let me head back to Okta admin portal and assign the Office 365 app to Paul. As we have provisioning enabled, we must select the role and license for the user account. Let me pick up the basic licenses here. And ignore the role for now and hit on save. This completes the assignment, and now let's verify the assignment. I will log on to the user dashboard and do a refresh. And now I can see the Office 365 apps. We can test them by launching the application and see the accessibility. Seems like all applications are accessible. Well, this concludes our demo session of integrating Office 365 with Okta using WS-Fed authentication protocol for SSO. Thank you for joining this session. Hope this was informative.